Welcome back to Full Beans. On today's episode, cyberbullying is for losers. New race winner in 15 years. And we go to Road America.
Race 8, Connor Daly, still not here. We're still going to go for it. A slight fumble. My shirt, you see, is not the correct shirt. You'll see it, I don't know, here, somewhere on the screen. You'll see it, maybe, I don't know. Anyways, Race 8, Connor Daly, we're coming.
My name is Ozzy. We got David somewhere around here. We got Frankie in the back right there. Make sure you like and subscribe and comment on this video as well. Make sure we get a bunch of likes on this video. With that being said, we got David. I don't know if we can address the elephant in the room.
As you can
He's coming
see,
you from live somewhere.
As you can see, I'm not in the studio today. I'm on vacation, but I'm dedicated to the show, dedicated to the fans. The three of you, we're here. As you can see, I'm kind of in an interesting location. Maybe a bathroom, maybe not. I don't know. Ozzy, what do you think about my new shooting location?
It looks very familiar, something you should be comfortable with. As far as what we shot before, so
I don't know.
That's just the elephant in the room.
I don't know if the fans know that.
The elephant in the room that we have. I know, true. I guess later on, once we, if we get up to 10,000 subscribers, we'll give a little story, of the Full Beans studio.
The reveal.
The almost the intoxication we had with the walls, So make sure you subscribe. With that being said, we go on to the news of the week. We got an interesting week right here. We're starting off with something a little more on the serious note, as we saw from the last week of Detroit. This week, Theo Pourchaire got was cyberbullied online with an incident with him and Agustin having a coming together, and It sucks that Theo Pourchaire got that end of the stick. Of course, we know cyberbullying is not a good thing to do. It can affect a lot of people. It can affect that person in a bad way, whether you think it's not cyberbullying or not. It's not welcomed. David, what do you have any comments on this happening to Theo Pourchaire?
Yeah. So quickly, Teddy Chairs got a little cyberbullied this week. Supposedly he received death threats, which obviously is never fun to hear from anyone. No one wants to hear that. No one wants to receive death threats. This story has kind of evolved now where Junco and McLaren are now separating ties, which is kind of a big deal. Thank you, Frankie. So they had a technical partnership. And they are now separated ties, which, I mean, you would think that the technical partnership helps out both teams, but I think, you can take a guess that Junco probably gets more out of it than McLaren does, so probably not the biggest loss for McLaren, a big loss for Junco, and obviously the cyberbullying is no joke. I don't know, Agustin came out and said that obviously he's against cyberbullying, he said, but he doesn't think that his fans sent death threats to Theo, so there's kind of like that element to the story. It is getting kind of involved, this story. As we saw, he didn't race this week. He took a mental health break, I think they called it. I don't know. I don't think they mentioned how long it'll be. I don't know, Ozzy, anything more to this story?
Yeah, with Agustin taking a mental break, and it maybe affected him a little. Yeah, but there's no details that were released Obviously, I'm pretty sure in the racing world, mental health, it's got to be a big thing because they're always under so much pressure, right, to perform at the highest level because it's either you perform or you don't have a job for the next season. So good that Agustin is looking out for himself, you know, and not just thinking about his career, but actually taking the time to take a step back and reflect on what's happened. So we're here to support Agustin. What's it called? In any way, form.
Support
Because
Teddy.
we obviously want to see a
Support Teddy.
yeah,
too.
we obviously want to see oh yeah, support Teddy. I'm sorry, yeah, support Teddy and
Obviously, I don't think either.
what's it called in any form possible.
I don't think either of the racers had any animosity towards each other. At least I believe. I don't think
No.
I've seen any sort of negative interaction between them. So I think that's good also.
That's for sure. With that being said, I think we move on to the next what's it called news of the week.
happy
This is an
news.
exciting one.
Happy news.
Happy news. Yeah, this is good for the female audience out there that we have. Jamie Chadwick wins the Grand Prix at Road of America. I'm sorry if I look back. I'm kind of confused on the title of this race. Grand Prix at Road America. She wins in the IndyCar next series. Jamie Chadwick made history at the Grand Prix Road America, something like that, by becoming the first woman in over a decade to win in the Indy next series. She drives for Andretti Autosport. It was a dominant win. Actually, she started in pole and then she finished first. So it shows that she's a exponentially talented racer, and this makes it's a big milestone in her racing career. Good to see her win. If you don't know who Jamie Chadwick is, she's kind of a big deal when far as women racing or female racing. She raced in the W Series. She raced in Extreme E. And she was actually for some time she was a reserve driver for the Williams Formula One team. So she knows how to drive a car around the track. So good to see her. Congratulate her that. And David, any comments on this win from her?
First off, little round of applause. Yeah, I think it's a really important win for, I guess, the female of the sport. Racing, I think, is probably one of the only sports that you could argue where, your sex could be one of the least important factors, right? Because in other sports, we're the biology and just the structure of your body and things like that are different. So men and women,
the physical presence, right?
yeah, men and women are gonna just be different in sports, right? This one in racing, you can argue that it's like you could throw whatever, you could throw a dog in there, and if the dog was quick, like so I think it's really important for women. I think a lot more women could definitely. The more women we get, the more diversity, the more, I think it would make racing more interesting. It would make it easier on the eyes for us to look at, not to see. I mean, there's the cute guys out there, the Leclercs, but, I wouldn't mind seeing some cute girls out there. So, yeah, I think it's a really important win. I think it's really good to see her be successful. Hopefully she continues.
I think you make...
Go, continue, Ozzy. Sorry, there's some.
I think you made a good point there.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah,
bear with us.
We're gonna have to get used to this little lag, dude. But what's it called? I think you made a good point where, yeah, like racing is one of a sport where it's kind of what's it called? An even playing field where everybody, can race. I mean, unless you don't have an arm or a leg, then it makes it kind of difficult. But besides that, you should be able to compete with anybody, right? So you make a good point on that. So anything else to add, David?
Not really. Just hopefully she continues to success. It's a really interesting Indy next The series is interesting. Yeah, I don't know, not too much to add after that.
Okay, nice. So now we move on to the Grand Prix at Road America. This race got a lot of hype coming in. I know it's a track favorite for a lot of drivers, a lot of fans, a lot of commenters. A lot of people have said great things about this track, that they love coming here year and year out. I think, was this one of the ones that got a contract extension recently that I heard, or is that
I
a different one?
believe they have. Yes, I don't know the exact length of contract extension that it received, but I'm pretty sure that they have received a contract extension. They received a contract extension this year.
That's good to hear. One of the things with this track is that it has a lot of turns. It's one of the longest tracks in the IndyCar calendar. What's it called? So if you noticed, if you watched it this last week, it had one of the least amount of laps on the. Well, it has one of the least amount of laps on the IndyCar calendar. I think it was only 50 laps, and compare it to other tracks where it's like
I think it was
98,
55 laps.
90 laps. Oh, 55. Yeah, there you go.
I
That
mean,
sounds correct.
But yeah, one of the
55 laps.
least amount of laps.
Yeah. So, but here we go in with the pole sitter, Linus Lundqvist. I believe this was his first pole, correct?
I think it was his first pole in IndyCar. I think, yeah.
In IndyCar, yeah. So good to see a new pole sitter up there, and another plus for IndyCar because, like we said before, you don't know what's gonna happen, and here we have a new driver sitting up in pole, so we get some different. We don't get the same old, and we get the one of our favorite drivers here, full beans, Colton Herta in second, and then the youngster Marcus Armstrong in third. Starting the race, they had those two had an incident going in there, in which those three not coming together. I think only Linus and Colton come together, and
No,
Marcus
Armstrong hits him in the back.
actually, yeah, you're correct. And those three, now the top three, end up going back to the grid, and now they ended up being the bottom three in a matter of, I think it was 2 turns or something like that.
New pole sitter, but didn't hold it for long.
Yeah, he didn't even get to lead one lap, dude. What's it called? Being the pole sitter.
Quite a crazy start. Quite a crazy start.
Yeah, crazy start, dude. Yeah. What did you think? Your comments on the race, David?
Well, I guess we'll go for the first part of the race. First part of the race was very slow. We had like 3 cautions in like the first 10 laps or something. Like, just I don't understand. It seems kind of interesting that there were so many cautions at the beginning of this race. Obviously, at like turn 1, you expect there to be some issues of people getting bumped. But there was a lot of cautions even after the initial caution, which was I don't know if it's because of Indy now we're just elbows out all the time now, it makes it interesting. Yeah, there was I think additionally, as we've said before, these cars are robust cars. All 3 of the cars that we were talking about earlier, they got into to the initial crash on turn 1 or turn 2, whatever it was, they all of them continue the race. There was no DNFs at that point. Interesting start to the race.
Yeah, talking about the robustness of the reliability of the cars. Did you see Newgarden's crash in what's it called? I think it was qualifying. Yeah. And I think that's the most damage I've ever seen in IndyCar, and it didn't even look that bad. So,
I think it was practice.
And it was a hard hit. I think he was going like 120.
Yeah, I think it was.
Oh, it was practice?
I think it was practice, but he was flying, and he smashed that thing into the wall.
Yeah, they say it was 11 Gs that he hit the barricade right there. So, good to see he's good.
He was
freaking excellent. He came in second.
I can barely take the 1G that is on me walking upstairs, dude. Let alone the 11 G's of a crash.
Yeah.
Man, what the heck?
yeah. I know. He got out of the car and he said, like, yeah, I was going for it. So I guess another day at the office for him,
That's
dude.
crazy.
But besides the cautions, it was hard to get. The race had it was having trouble getting a rhythm to it. But for sure. The tires were a big issue. I know, like Scott Dixon, he was struggling with his tires. He burned them up really easily, had a lot of blistering, so he was falling back pretty easily. I know that's something I noticed from the race. Anything else you had, David?
Yeah, tires were a big issue, like you were saying. I don't feel like he had that old of a pair of tires when he had to pit again. They showed on the camera, like on the live feed, like just how bad his tire was, that he was getting eaten up on a lap because he just could not race on that tire anymore. So that tires were an issue.
Yeah, the tires looked like it had a weird pattern. Like when they showed it on that feed, it looked like it almost had like a little hole in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. It looked really weird. It looked really, really weird. I've never seen a tire like that. I was like, damn, that's really.
Are you one of those people that are scared of holes? Do you know those people?
Nah, why?
There's like a phobia.
Oh, is there?
People
Oh,
that
no,
are
I've never
scared
heard
of
this.
of a bunch of holes.
Nah. I just thought it was weird, but nah, I'm not scared of holes.
I don't know. Some of you're scared of holes. Something like that.
Nah, well, I mean, if it's on your freaking tire, maybe you should be scared of holes. So.
Yeah, you don't want a hole on your tire. Oh, except for the one in the middle.
Yeah, exactly. The one in the middle. What's it called? When we get onto the race, there was a lot of different strategies going on. I know Colton fell to like the back of the grid, but then he was able to climb back up towards the up to the grid, and he ended up finishing an impressive 6th with the horrible luck that he got in the beginning.
Yeah,
so good to see Colton.
It sucked that he seems to have found like a lot of pace recently, but just seems to find himself in some unlucky situations where, I mean, he gets taken out in turn 2, 1, whatever it was, early in the race through no fault of his own. He was a little upset that Newgarden didn't get that penalty. I don't know if it was it warranted a penalty or not, but he seems to be getting real quick. So maybe a win for him soon.
Yeah, for sure. It seems like a win is brewing. He's doing everything right, but everything around him seems to be wanting him to not win, and he gets the short end of the stick on most situations. What's it called? Another driver that looked super strong, we mentioned before last week, if he was going to be able to bounce back, was Alex Palou. He's able to come back. He ended up finishing an impressive 4th place. He's still running for that I believe it's going to be his 3rd championship. What's it called? For IndyCar, if I'm not incorrect. And he's able now to finish 4th, which right behind Scotty Mack. And Scott McLaughlin has looked really impressive in these like last few races, except for the one last week where he made an incorrect decision on going a little too hard during the rain, and he took accountability for that one. So, and Joseph Newgarden now finishing 2nd. Another impressive win, another impressive performance by him. So we're starting to see like a pattern of these like Penske cars really showing up. And of course we have now the race winner, which I think this is a big deal. Will Power wins the Grand Prix at Road America and ends this terrible drought that he's been on.
Long drought.
He wins. His last win was in June of 2022. A span of 34 races. Yeah, long and waited. I'm pretty sure this was he was able to savor this win because it's been a long time. I think they mentioned before this drought that he had, he went like 8 seasons with at least 1 win every season. So to go from 2022 to now 2024 almost 2 years of not winning. This pretty sure this win meant a lot for him. Winning. So
yeah, last year, I think his wife was sick with something. I don't know. To be honest, I'm not sure. He was saying that he had a lot of mental struggle last year, so it's nice to see him. His wife was there, and you can see her very emotional when he goes to greet her after the win. So nice to see that. Nice to see him finally get a win back under his belt. A nice weight lifted off his shoulders. Nice for his family. You know, it's nice to see him. So another person who's been in the series for a long time. He's been in the series.
Long time.
Penske does seem to have the recipe currently. Looks like they got the recipe going. Cheaters? Maybe. No, I'm just kidding. Or not. I don't know. But the Chevy this week came back. They came back, and they couldn't take Motor City last week, but they said, "All right, we gotta come back swinging, come back swinging."
Yeah. With this now, with Willpower winning, now this even better news for him. It moves him to the top of the championship. With this victory, now he sits at 236 points. I think he's above Pelot by like a few points. I think maybe like 6 or 7 points. And so good to see him win and take the championship lead.
And to what you're saying, Ozzy mentioning the championship lead, it's what here at Full Beans we keep saying about IndyCar, is the competitiveness is unlike other series currently. I think this is I don't know if this is right, but I think it's like the 5th championship lead change that we've had in the series this season. 5th. And to see that,
yeah, so to that point that we have the 5th championship, and that we don't even know that's how, like, you're proving your making your point correct, that we don't know how many championship changes there's been, because there's been that many, you know?
Yeah, there's so many, keeping it competitive. And additionally, it's interesting because right now we kind of have it like NASCAR, where NASCAR, to get into the playoffs, you get a win, you're automatically into the playoffs. Here, it's like you get a race win, you're automatically in the championship lead. So it's like a win, but obviously staying... Because Willpower hasn't won. This is his first victory of the season. And yet he has stayed close enough to the top of the pack every week that given one win, boom, he's at the top. So who knows if it's going to be a battle to like the last race this season. And whoever takes the last race wins the IndyCar championship because of how tight.
That'd be crazy.
It could be boiled down to that, where we have 3 or 4 guys fighting for the title at the end, and it's going to be winner takes all. That would be so good to watch.
Those are going to be some elbows out right there, dude. That's going to be nothing left on the table. Yeah, so it was a good race to see. A lot of fans turned up there. You could see them all over the track.
Packed house.
What's it called? Packed house. And that's everything I have here for the Grand Prix at Road America. David, do you have anything more to share? Frankie?
No. Looking forward to the next race. Laguna Seca, Monterey. I think Full Beans will be out there. We'll see. Frankie, any nice little last minute just wise words that you always have?
Crazy race. Very exciting. Just like with Indy, you never know what's going to happen.
And with that bombshell, over here from Full Beans Studio, David's temporary studio,
Full Beans, New York.
signing out.
See ya.